Hello my lovely drummers, it's Rob Litton here from drumstheword.com and welcome to this completely free full video song lesson. Today I want to show you how to play the song Sweet Disposition by the Temper Trap, drummed by Toby Dundas. As always, I've got the free PDF for you to download from my website for free. You'll find a link beneath this video, all 3 pages of the chart fully transcribed for you. Lots and lots of cool ideas in this song. Lots of cool song structure ideas as well. So have this downloaded in front of you as we go through this together. It's going to make things a lot easier for you to understand. I've also just recently posted on my Facebook page a new song request post where others get to vote or get to type their suggestions, and others get to vote on them by liking them, and the most popular songs get chosen for future lessons, as this one was today. I'm also going to be doing another free YouTube lesson this week, or latest early next week. That was a post I completed to have a few weeks ago. I haven't forgotten about it. I've still got a few songs on there that I want to do, so you can look forward to some more stuff concerning that as well. Okay, so the song starts, well, the drums come in at 15 seconds. Very, very simply to start off with, just quarter notes on the bass drum. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We get 12 bars of that. 4, 4, 4 bars of just the bass drum on its own. And then we come in with our main groove, the tom groove. And I had to watch Toby play this live a few times, different videos available on YouTube, to really see what he was doing here. It's quite hard to work out just from listening exactly what he's doing. There's a few little subtle differences between what you think he's playing and what he's actually playing that I'll point out for you in this lesson. So first of all, we're playing quarter notes on the bass drum all the way through. The entire song, in fact, there's no break to it. So it's the same with this groove, but over the top of it, Toby's playing this 2-bar drum beat. And it starts off on the high tom, and he plays 1 E and a. Now you're probably going to want to play 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2, but what Toby does is he doesn't play the 2 there with his right hand. He just plays 1 E and a, 1 E and a. The bass drum then fills in the gap that the tom would play. Quite an interesting idea, quite a musical choice there to leave out that right hand on beat 2. So we get 1 E and a, 1 E and a 2, 1 E and a 2. The next part is he comes back in with the right hand and he plays after beat 2, after that bass drum on its own, 2 and 3 and 4 and. So he doesn't play the right hand again with the snare drum. He leaves out that right hand on beat 4 as well. So we get together with the bass drum underneath, 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, like I said a second ago, you'll probably find it more comfortable to play 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 and. In fact, you can even play with the floor tom on snare drum as well. And don't get me wrong, that will work just fine. No, you probably didn't hear the difference there. If you play along to with the rest of the band, you wouldn't notice the difference. But I'm just showing you the way Toby plays it, which is a little bit more technical because you're having to break up your hands a little bit more. But if you wanted to play that continuous right hand pattern on the floor tom, absolutely fine. But notice that Toby's playing. Then the second bar of the 2-bar drum beat, he plays this. 1 E and a 2, so up to that point the same. 1 E and a 2 and a 3. Coming in on the and a 2, we get this right, left, right on the floor tom, and a 3 and 4 ands. That's the 2-bar drum beat there. One with the little and a 3 and then one without the and a 3. And really that's the only difference there that he does when he's performing it live, when he's improvising. He seems to put that and a 3 in different places every time he performs the song. Sometimes he puts them in at the end of the line, each of the lines. Sometimes plays them on the first bar, not just the second bar. It's kind of inconsistent, but it's cool. It doesn't really take away from the song. So feel free to throw in those and threes whenever you like, really. Not every single bar. He doesn't do it every bar. But choose like a pattern, either the first or the second bar, and don't worry if you forget it one bar. It doesn't matter. No one's going to hear no one's going to miss it. But just be aware that when performing it live, it's kind of improvising a little bit. But one more time, the 2-bar drum beat now is this. So that goes on. That 2-bar gets played twice for the first line. Same for the second line, but at the end of the second line, and this is like an 8-bar pattern, he plays a slight variation for that 4th bar. Instead of playing 1 E and a 2, he plays 1 E and a. So instead of da 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 da, it's da 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 da, which is a cool little subtle difference there. Musically, it stands out as a really nice sort of melody on the toms. And again, if you wanted to play the right hand is playing continuous, then you could do that as well. So the last 2 bars there of bars 3 and 4 of the second line, again. So you can hear that we got that every 8 bars we got that slight variation there with the extra top with the different orchestration. Then onto the 3rd line and the 4th line, and that it's just the same as the 1st and 2nd line, except for the 4th line where he plays the and a 3 on the floor tom. No, that's coming up in the second. Sorry, forgive me. That's in the bridge 1, the next line. Lines 3 and 4 are exactly the same as line 1 and 2. So he's consistently playing this pattern. Then we go on to bridge 1 where it continues for one more line, and it's bars 2 and 3 where he plays the and a 3 in both of them. Or at least that's what I'm hearing. I must admit the tom is quite low in the mix. The floor tom is quite low in the mix on the recording, so it's quite hard to hear when he's playing it. And you have to really strain your ears to hear it sometimes, but I'm pretty sure I heard him play it in bar 3 as well. So again, it's just another little example of him improvising with it, adding it in different places. But bar 4 of that line is the version. So just before I play it up to speed for you, let me play bridge 1, 4 bars slowly, because that has all the different variations in one line. So 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and a 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then we go into the last line of bridge 1 where he comes up to the cymbals. When he plays it live, he tends to hit both at the same time, 1 and 2. And if you've already got one crash cymbal, fine, just use the 1 or the ride in the crash if you wanted to. It's quite a nice big section. You could play 1 and 2 and 3 and 2 different crash cymbals if you wanted to. It doesn't really matter, but what we're doing is we're playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Over 4 bars, the 4th bar comes in with this drum fill at the very end. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and a, 4 E and a. It's the same as the, but onto the snare drum instead of the floor tom. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and a, 1, 2, 3. Then we're into our double-handed drum beat. Notice he doesn't play the bass drum on the and a beat 4, but you could if you wanted to. I played the bass drum on all the 8th notes there. He doesn't on the recording. He stops on beat 4 and doesn't play the bass drum on the and a 4. So if you wanted to, it doesn't really matter. Then we go into chorus 1, which I say is our double-handed drum beat. This is what he plays for the rest of the song. So we're playing 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. 16th notes on the hi-hat. Bass drum still pumping on quarter notes, going back to quarter notes on the bass drum. But at the end of each of the bars, we get this cool offbeat snare drum part where his left hand comes down to play the snare drum on the and the E, the of 3 and the E of 4, just before and just after that bass drum. be aware it's right, left, right, left, right, left. Nothing's changing, it's just where you're coming off the hi-hat to play the snare drum. So that gets played 4 times for the first line. Second line starts with the crash cymbal. The 4th bar of that second line, though, has our first variation of that offbeat snare drum thing, where he plays it on the of 4 as well. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, E and So it's just coming down to the snare drum for all of those offbeat snare drum notes for the last part of the bar. Now the key is, he plays that on its own a few times a song, but for this, go from the second line to the third line, he continues with the snare drum on 1E. And it's really looping bars 4 of that second line into bar 1 of the third line that you need to be able to practice. So let's do that. Let's create a 2-bar loop of bar 4 and bar 1 there. Play it even slower for you. Again. Lots of fun to play. A little bit tricky to play up to speed if you're not used to coming off the hi-hat in different parts of the snare of the beat. Use the bass drum to help keep you in time so you don't lose your place where you are in the beat. Then we go on to bar 4 of that third line, and we get our next variation. 1, 2, 3, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 E and a. So instead of playing 4 E, which we do, we play 4 E and a. Just come down for the last 3 notes of the snare drum there, all on the snare drum. Got a bead of sweat coming down, itching my face. Of course, it's a hot day today. So again, let's create a 2-bar drum beat, a loop, just so we practice that in what's the word I'm looking for? In context with the rest of the grooves. We then go into the third line with another crash, 4th line with another crash cymbal, and the 4th bar there of that last line is also the same. So before we go on to the second page, let me now play for you what we got so far. So I'll ignore the intro, you know how to play quarter notes on the bass drum. I'll come in on bar 3 of verse 1, so we get the last 2 lines of verse 1, bridge 1, both lines, and then the whole of chorus 1, so we can hear how that sounds like in context, up to speed without me yakking on over the top. Here we go. So you've pretty much got the song down now. It's just some slight variations of those little drum fills at the end of each of the lines. So you can see chorus 1 continued on page 2 is the 4 E and 1. Oh. And I make my excuses that it's really hot, that's why I'm messing up. So it's coming into the crash cymbal on beat 1 as well. Verse 2, we get first line standard stuff, all the same bars. Line 2, we have bar 4 of line 2, a slight variation again. 1, 2, 3, a 4, and 1. The only time he plays it in the song, instead of playing a 4 E, it's a 4 E and that right hand comes down for the and. So that's quite fun to play that as well. Let's create a 2-bar loop. Then line 3, 4 bars of groove, standard stuff. And the last line, for bar 4, we get 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so both those right hands coming down for the and a 3 and the and a 4. And also there's a slight build up in volume and looseness of the hi-hat. It's not fully open, but we sort of get like from bar 3 into bar 4. It's a slight sort of increase in hi-hat looseness, and it's the same going into bridge 2. We sort of keep that looseness going, but if you want to just keep it closed, it's kind of hard to notate that stuff. Is it fully open? Is it half open? Is it fully closed? It's just sort of a little bit louder. That's the sort of feel you're going for, but doesn't mean you have to hit louder. It's just if you want to loosen up the hi-hat slightly for the rest of the song, that'll work really well. So bridge 2, first line standard stuff. Second line, we get another variation of the drum fill at the end. Line 2, bar 4. 1, 2, 3, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a. So come down to the centre for the and the 3 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, and it ends with 4 E and a, the last 4 notes. Oh. Did it again. There we go. Chorus 2, 4 bars groove. Second line, we get the going into line 2 into line 3. This idea again. Then end of that line is 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, which we've done before. Then the last line of chorus 2 is the and a 4 E and a again. Keep doing that. Then onto the last page, chorus 2 continued, and line 1 is the A4 E and A, line 2 is the A4 E and A, line 3 is the A4 E and A, and then line 4 is the A4 E and A, and then the very last line, the song ends, the last 2 bars, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and A4 E and a 1. Just the bass drum on its own on beat 1, but you could play with the hi-hat on 1 as well if you wanted to. One, 2, 3, 1. Ends on beat 1 with just the bass drum on its own. So before we finish, let me now play for you the last 2 lines of chorus 2 so we can hear how the song ends. Here we go. So I hope you enjoyed that lesson. Again, make sure you download the free PDF that came with this lesson. The link is beneath this video. I have all 3 pages for you. And while you're at my website, you might want to consider signing up to become an online member. And what I currently offer for £97 is a full year's online access to every single full video song lesson I've ever recorded and transcribed. And just like this lesson, I teach you the song from start to finish. You get the fully transcribed PDF drum chart. And I have over 500 famous and popular songs up on the website already. As a thank you for signing up, I give you access to hundreds more videos teaching you many famous drum beats, fills and even drum solos. I give you 3 ebooks I've written over the years containing hundreds more famous beats, fills and solos. And then over the year of your subscription, you also gain instant online access to all the new material that I upload for my members. And I record new lessons every week unless I'm ill or on holiday. So you've got lots of cool stuff to look forward to over the year of your subscription. But if you've got any questions about any of that, then feel free to email me, rob@drumstotheword.com. And until our next drum lesson together, toodle pip and happy drumming to you.